How's it, grade 10? So, we have spoken about simple interest, and now what we're going to move on to is compound interest. Now, before we actually go on to it, and go through examples and whatever, I want to discuss what is the difference between compound and simple. Okay, so simple interest is, let's say you go and invest money. Now, with simple interest, you will only get interest on the amount that you invested in or you deposited. Okay, so if you go into the bank and you deposit 5,000 Rand, you will only get interest on 5,000 Rand. Now, with compound interest, let's say that you go and invest 5,000 Rand. So you'll get interest on your 5,000, but the next interest period will give you interest on that interest that you had on the 5,000. And it'll carry on building on like that. So with compound interest, you get interest on your interest. So you can see that your amount will grow very quickly compared to simple interest, where you're only getting interest on one set amount. Okay. Now the formula for compound interest is A is equal to P 1 plus I to the power of N. Whereas simple interest, the N was inside here. And you can see, because it's now a power, this is going to grow very quickly. Okay, so what we're doing is we are dealing with slides 23 to 26 from the PowerPoint's financial maths. Okay, and now just to talk about this again, your A, your P, your I, and your N are the same thing as what your simple interest was. A stands for accumulated amount, P stands for principal, I is your interest rate, and N is your time period. Okay. So if we go through example 1, I'm just going to read it out to you guys. So it says, Bongani borrowed 5,500 Rand from the bank at a rate of 8.5% per annum compound. How much will he need to repay after 3 years? So if we do example 1, A, P, I, and N. So how much is he going to pay over these 3 years? Well, that's what we don't know. We're going to find out. Our principal amount, so he started off with 5,500. Our interest rate is 8.5%. So this is 8.5 over 100. Remember, I just convert the percent to over 100. So this was 8.5%. And this investment is going over, or the loan is going over 3 years. Okay. Just write out my formula. A is equal to P, 1 plus I to the power of N. Substitute my values into this, and we get A is equal to 5,500, 1 plus 8.5 over 100. To the power of 3. You can put this on your calculators. So 5,500, 1 plus 8.5 over 100 to the power of 3. And we get, now remember guys, because we're dealing with money, you must round off your answers to 2 decimal places. Okay? So this would be equal to, accumulated amount is equal to, this rounded off to 2 decimal places, 7,025 and 9 cents. So that is how much he is going to pay back after 3 years. Okay. Let's have a look at example 2. So example 2 is saying, Gemma's parents know that in 5 years' time, they will need 32,000 Rand for her first year university fees. How much do they need to invest now at a rate of 11.1% per annum to have the required amount in 5 years? Okay. So we've got A equals, P equals, I equals, N equals. Okay. So let's go with the obvious one. It says Gemma's parents know that in 5 years' time. So we know our N is 5. it goes on to say they will need 32,000 Rand for the first year varsity fees. How much do they need to invest? So we know how much money they need at the end of this entire investment. So this would be your accumulated amount. Okay. How much must they invest? We don't know. So that's the question mark. And they tell us that your interest rate is 11.1%. Okay. So just write out the formula. Fill in all of the letters. Okay, so how do we work out this P now? What we're going to do is you can see to get the P on its own, this is saying P times this bracket. And the opposite of times is divide. So we are going to say 32,000 divided by this thing over here. And I'll show you on the calculator. So we're going to go 32,000 divided by, open up my bracket, 1 plus 11.1 over 100 to the power of 5. Okay, so now again, I'm going to round this off to 2 decimal places. So we get 18,905 and 13 cents. So Gemma's parents need to invest 18,905 Rand and 13 cents in order in 5 years' time to get 32,000 Rand. Okay, so grade 10s, I would like you to do exercise 12.1 for me, please. Nice chill one, hey guys? Okay, thank you very much.